Hey everyone, I come on here because I have a topic of discussion I feel important to share with you guys. As we've been in our free 10-step e-guide on how to date effectively, we have the 10 steps currently available on our website at www.ourfaithconnects.com. Thank everyone who has already got a copy of our free 10-step e-guide. All the insight, the feedback, the takeaways has been very important to me. Tonight discussion, stable grounds. We're going to discuss the importance of having stability in a relationship. It's important to have a firm foundation with a person that already has established views, their characters, their principles, their morals. They are decisive. They're solid in heart and mind. They're not overreactive. They're not scatterbrained. They're not double-minded, right? It's important when we're connecting with people that they are stable. Anyone can say they're stable and they're not. Their actions, their behaviors, their characters show otherwise. We're going to talk about it tonight. Depending on a person's stability level, it will reflect how stable they are in their individual life. In order for someone to be stable with you or create an environment that's stable for you, they have to be stable within self. A person's ability to create a secure foundation within a relationship changes curiosity to confidence. Instead of wondering what if and whether they are, you're now confident based on how they made you feel secure. Instead of questioning one's motives, intentions, and capabilities, there's comfort and assurance that they're able, functional, consistent, intentional, and sincere. Now you've been reassured. Now you can speak on it boldly. You can speak on it confidently because they gave you the reassurance through their stability. A person unwavered, unmovable, and established with self can authentically present themselves and be that for another person. When they are that way, authentically, they develop themselves that way, they mature that way, they have a found and key understanding of life and wisdom, they're able to show up and present themselves to be a stable person for someone else. If someone is not stable in their own personal life, you can't expect them to create a life that's stable with you because they have to start with them. Mentally and emotionally healthy. Tonight, we're not going to speak on financial stability as that requires more time and finances can change. We can have another discussion about financial stability, which is important, but tonight, that is not the topic of discussion. We're rather talking about mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually, and in presence. In their presence, they show stability. James 1:8 says, a double-minded man is unstable in all his ways. It's divided. Sometimes it's based on other people's thoughts, their own thoughts. They're indecisive. They can't make decisions, overthinking, all over the place, scatterbrained. No consistency at all, just double-minded. One moment is this, next moment is this, no stability. We want to make sure we're not marrying a double-minded man or a double-minded woman, that they are consistent, clear in thought, headspace, able to make decisions, assertive, and focused. We're going to talk about 3 ways to identify stable grounds. Is this person that you're connecting with, are they stable? Here are 3 ways you'll be able to identify that. Number 1, their lifestyle. An identifier is the way they live, their day-to-day operations, their associations, their cultural beliefs, their character, their moral compass, and established views. Where do they stand in perspective and viewpoints? Their beliefs, their character. Is it sturdy? Is it consistent? Consistency is revealing endurance and dedication, which is a quality must. When someone is consistent, even the pattern of always buying you flowers every week, you feel reassured and you feel confident, and it brings a different level of just comfort and just getting flowers every week. You know he gonna get you flowers on Wednesday, every Wednesday. Passions and habits. That's another one. Passion and habits. What is their routine? What are their habits? What are they passionate about? What do they engage in? What do they talk about? What are the compatibilities? What areas are you guys compatible in their lifestyle? Is it something that you can align? Is it something that's already similar? You guys can just move forward, head forward? Is there any hindrances there? Are there differences that are very drastic? Routine shows stability and can develop trust and security. So what is their routine? Their patterns are continual and established. Someone who's stable, they have consistent patterns and they're established. Also, accountability in life and living a life of peace and soundness. They hold themselves accountable. They're not blame shifting. They're not making excuses. They have accountability in their life and they live a life of peace and soundness. Just their presence brings you peace. The way that they respond, their calmness, their self-control, how they process what's being said and being able to deliver and to respond in a mature manner. It shows stability. So number one, lifestyle. How do they live? Number two, function. How well are they able to function in good and bad times and on good or bad terms? How well do they function when they're having their way versus when they're not having their way, when you guys are on the best of terms or when you guys are not on the best of terms? When the times and seasons are good or when the times and seasons are bad, how well do they function? There is a thing called functional masking, believed to be high functioning but have underlying issues such as unaddressed mental issues, anger spiraled, anxiety unresolved, and other motives. So there are some people who look to be okay, they mask to be okay. However, underlying, there are some issues that's never been addressed properly. How stable are they in heart and mind? Emotion control, emotion intelligence, emotion awareness, the ability to get things done despite the circumstances, the unexplained, and the unexpected. In life, we're going to have circumstances. Some circumstances are unexplained. You don't know where it came from. It came from just out of nowhere, right? It just feel like a freak accident. What happened? And then there's unexpected. You didn't see it coming. Independence and holding the fort down. Are they able to hold it down by themselves or do they need someone for everything? It's good to have a comfort in having someone to depend on, but are they independent? Can they hold it down? Whether you are in their life or not, can you trust that they'll be able to take care of themselves and they'll be fine without you? Are they functional or functional masking? Are they able to operate despite the seasons, despite the trials and tribulations, and continue to move forward? Number three, protective. A person who is protective respects order, providing a structure that is consistent and a place of safety, a place that is guarded and secure, physical or intangible space, mindful of access, discretion, and releasing of information, releasing time and effort. Security provides stability, a space created that is safe, protected, and comfortable. For someone who's stable, they are protective. They want to protect. So there's order that they come with to ensure that things operate in the proper way without people getting hurt and making sure that it's a safe place for that person that they are protected over, whether it be the environment, their physical home, or just a place where someone can confide in and talk to. If someone is open and transparent with you, are you just going to spiral or are you going to be able to receive what they're saying without offense? They're protective. A person who is stable, they are protective over those whom they love. Now, there's a difference between protective and overprotective, but someone who's protective, they understand order and structure. There are many ways to identify a person as unstable, and we will list a few tonight. Character of a person is revealing to their stability levels. And the reason why I say levels is because some are stable by condition and by occurrence. So it measures differently based on what's happening. Time, seasons, and change of weather affect their stability. As a believer, we should remain on solid ground and have a firm foundation, no matter the storm, the good, the bad, the ugly, the indifferent, the change of events. Our foundation should always be firm and solid ground. So we're building on top of what's already solid. You're able to gain this stability through reading the Word of God, understanding who you are in Christ, and then fixing and modifying and adjusting your character that's upright and is a reflection of God. Despite the situation, are they dependable and reliable? Can you depend on this person? Are they strong and able to withstand? Can they endure? Everything's not going to be peaches and cream. Everything is not going to be what you want to hear. Life is not going to always go in the way you expect it. Does their presence in conversation display soundness when you're speaking with them? Or are they impulsive? They're frantic. They make decisions without thinking about it, and now they're regretting them. They behave erratically. You don't know what to expect on the other side when they come into the door. Are they stable in the way that they deliver messages, in the way that they speak, and through their presence reveal peace and comfort and soundness, levelness? They are level-minded. I did list some unstable characteristics here so that we are mindful of them and we can see the signs before we get too involved with someone that may not be stable. Double-mindedness, we talked about that in scripture. They're inconsistent. One moment they show up for you this way, then the next moment they show up you in this way, and you don't know how they're going to show up for you. They're impulsive. They act without thinking. They're overreactive. They make everything a big deal. They blow things out of proportion. They nitpick everything. Untamed emotions. They're deceptive. I wrote a whole book. Go ahead and get my book, The Doors of Deception. They're confused. They're liars. They're immoral. They're followers. They're not following Christ. We are followers of Christ, but they just follow the crowd. Wherever the crowd goes, they go. They don't know the direction. They don't know what's heading. They don't even know the full information. They're just followers. They're unreliable. They're untrustworthy. They're functional masking. They're misleading. They're prideful. Move in pride. They're selfish. Excuse maker. They're always making excuses all the time for everything, for why they do what they do, opposed to holding themselves accountable and being honest. Blame shifter. They want to blame everyone for everything, all of their problems in life. They're not stable. Someone who's stable, they're going to look inwardly first to see the areas that they can improve to show up and be better for someone else. They're irresponsible. They're dysfunctional. They're over emotional. They're always responding out of emotion. No logic at all. No intellect, just emotion. They're not stable because why? Emotions change. So you mean to tell me you're going to respond by your emotion every time? And emotionally unavailable. All signs of instability. If anyone shows up like this, these are some characteristics. We got to be mindful of how much we give to them, how much access we give to them, and how much we actually would trust someone like this. There's some inner healing, there's some inner work that needs to get done. And that is not up to you to do for them. That's something that they need to realize is wrong with them, and they do what is necessary to heal themselves. Let us be mindful of others and their ability to create a stable environment for you. Anyone can say they're stable, but their behaviors prove otherwise. Their behaviors show otherwise. It's not that. They're not showing you that they are stable. Though they say it out of their mouth, their actions do not prove that. We do not want to welcome a person in our life that brings dysfunction and chaos, causing mental and emotional damage and strain. Now you feel exhausted and defeated and depleted, and you just feel like you just gave everything to someone who brought nothing but confusion, havoc, and chaos in your life. And you're trying to figure out where did you go wrong and what happened. because you allowed someone in your life that wasn't stable enough to hold you up. They weren't ready for that responsibility to keep you level, to build with you on a firm foundation. They were not ready. Character reveals what is not verbally said. There's things that character reveals through observing than what anyone would ever be able to say out of their mouth. It is important that we connect with those who are stable, as it helps with understanding direction, comfort, trust, dependability, and clarity. Someone who's stable, they come with clarity. There's no confusion. There's no indecisiveness there, right? You may be dating someone, you don't know if they like you, if they're not. One moment they show it, the next moment they don't. When someone is stable, you will know exactly where you are placed in their life. They're going to show you that in their actions and in their expression to you. And then there's direction, there's clear insight of where you guys are heading. When you are connecting with people, whether it be dating or friendships, there has to be direction. Why? Because God is making a path for you, which is direction, and we want to make sure that someone aligns with where you're going. They have to be trusted, especially if you're a female. A man should be able to guide you and be able to lead you. That's direction. If they're unstable, then they cannot direct you in the way that is in alignment with God's order, because God is not the author of confusion. A relationship with an individual who's stable brings clear vision of order, direction, reassurance, safety, and alignment. You are reassured. You know what you're going to get. You know how much they care about you. They show it in their stability, in their order, in their protectiveness, in their care and their concern, their character. It's proven. There are times where people show us who they are and we don't want to believe that because we had high hopes for this person. We had an anticipation for this person to be something else, and they're not that. So when people show you who they are, believe them. Believe them. A firm foundation that you build from, you're able to keep a solid foundation. So the grounds will be solid. You're able to build from it. So here is a firm foundation, and from that foundation, it's sturdy. So anything that you build on top of it, it will last. It will be long term. It will be durable. It will be able to withstand. That's how you know it's built on solid ground and consistent for flourishment and thriving without having to keep rebuilding damaged walls that are not sturdy. When people have weaker foundations, they don't have established views, their character, morals, all indecisive, it's not clear, they don't have true understanding, what will happen is you start to build on what's already weak and it will fall. You'll find yourself repeating the same buildup over and over and over again. You find yourself constantly starting over with this person instead of growing and expanding. You'll find yourself constantly starting over with this person. So you want to make sure that the person that we're connecting with, they're stable in heart and mind. They're mentally and emotionally healthy. They address the issues within them, within their circumstance, within their life, within their past, so that you guys are able to move ahead and move forward. You don't want someone that's bringing you down. One of the worst scenarios would be someone who is stable connecting with someone that's unstable. You have in hopes that you can bring stability to someone that's already not equipped for it because they didn't mold themselves to be a stable person. Maybe they've never had stability in their life or never experienced what it looks to be stable because they lived a life of survival mode. So they don't really know what it looks like for stability where they feel as if they're thriving in dysfunction. And that's their belief. However, that will bring you down for where God has taken you. And we are anchored. We're not shakeable. We're not movable. So we need someone who understands that. I pray this topic of discussion was very helpful for whatever season that you guys may be in your life at this current time. To the next video. Thanks, everyone.